Why do some people get richer every year, while others work harder but still can't save enough money? Why does the system favor the wealthy? And is it possible to change your financial trajectory? My name is Richard Leontiev. This is the best channel on finance. Give it a like. Let's get started. Many people believe that a high income automatically leads to wealth, but experience shows that even large sums of money won't turn into capital without a management system. In reality, what matters most isn't the size of your income, but the rules you follow when spending, saving, and investing money throughout your life. Financial results always depend on habits because it is your daily decisions that determine whether your capital will grow or steadily shrink. Today, we'll examine the real reasons why the wealthy continue to grow their fortunes by taking advantage of the financial system. You'll also learn about specific steps that will help you escape the financial trap and gradually transition from merely surviving to building wealth. The first reason is that money generally flows to those who already have capital, because the system favors asset owners. When new money enters the economy, it is distributed unevenly and flows primarily to financial institutions and companies. Banks and large companies gain access to money before others, allowing them to invest before asset prices rise. These funds are invested in stocks, real estate, and businesses, which appreciate over time and generate additional capital. Investing in real estate allows you to earn rental income and capital appreciation, creating a dual source of capital growth. Investing in companies offers the opportunity to profit from business growth, dividends, and rising stock prices. The value of assets often grows faster than wages, so capital owners increase their wealth faster than wage earners. For this reason, asset owners become wealthier without increasing their working hours or trading time for money. People who live solely on a salary feel the impact of rising prices more acutely, as their incomes grow more slowly than inflation. As a result, basic expenses rise first, and only later does the opportunity to increase income arise, which slows the rate of accumulation. Wealthy people have more investment opportunities because their capital gives them access to instruments unavailable to those without savings. They can invest in assets that generate additional income and grow their capital without extra effort. Many investment opportunities require seed capital, making it harder for people without savings to take advantage of these instruments. Investing in a business allows you to profit from the company's growth and participate in profit sharing without being directly involved in its operations. Real estate is a long-term source of income through rent and appreciation over many years. Startups offer the opportunity to earn high returns as the company grows, although this instrument requires an understanding of risks and strategy. In addition, wealthy individuals use borrowed funds not for consumption, but to purchase assets that may eventually begin to generate income. In this case, borrowed funds become a tool for financial growth, as they help increase capital more quickly. If a loan is used to purchase assets, the investment income can offset the cost of servicing the debt. The power of compound interest lies in the fact that capital begins to grow faster as the size of the investment increases. The returns generated by investments begin to generate new returns, creating an effect of accelerated capital growth. This mechanism is called compound interest and is considered one of the most powerful tools for building long-term capital. Compound interest only demonstrates its power in the long term, when investments are held for many years. The earlier a person starts investing, the less of their own funds they will need to achieve their financial goals. Time amplifies the effect of investments, so the earlier you start, the less effort you will have to put in, and the faster your capital will grow. People with capital are more likely to study financial literacy because they understand that this knowledge directly impacts the growth of their wealth. They have a better understanding of how taxes, investments, and financial instruments work, which enables them to make more profitable decisions. Understanding the principles of taxation helps them retain more of their profits, as smart planning reduces financial losses. Their social circles regularly discuss business, investments, and ways to increase income, which fosters a habit of thinking about capital growth. In such an environment, conversations about assets, sources of income, and new opportunities to improve financial results become the norm. When a person is constantly surrounded by entrepreneurs and investors, their thinking gradually becomes more strategic. One's environment influences financial decisions because people adopt the habits and behavior patterns of those around them. Now, let's examine why many people face the opposite situation and cannot break free from financial constraints. The first reason is living paycheck to paycheck, where all income goes toward covering basic expenses. If a person has no savings, any unexpected situation turns into a serious financial problem. Even small expenses can throw your budget off balance because you won't have enough money to cover unexpected costs. Equipment breakdowns require urgent expenses that are difficult to cover without a financial reserve or savings set aside in advance. Illness can lead to additional expenses for treatment, medication, and a temporary loss of income due to an inability to work. Losing a job drastically reduces income, and without savings, a person has to find money quickly. In such situations, people are often forced to take out loans to cover urgent expenses and maintain their standard of living. Debt increases the financial burden because interest and mandatory monthly payments are added to basic expenses. Inflation gradually increases the cost of goods and services, so over time, the same amount of money buys fewer and fewer of the things you're used to. Prices rise almost every year, and this happens even when people do not increase their spending and try to save. At the same time, wages often rise much more slowly than inflation, so the real standard of living may gradually decline. Prices for goods and services necessary for daily life are rising particularly fast. Living housing costs are rising faster than incomes, so an increasing portion of the budget goes toward rent or a mortgage. Food prices are also rising, and this directly affects every family's spending regardless of income level. Transportation costs are rising due to the cost of fuel, maintenance, and tickets, leading to an increase in mandatory monthly expenses. As a result, the purchasing power of money is declining, and people can afford less, even if their nominal income has increased. Another cause of financial problems is a lack of financial literacy, which is rarely taught within the traditional education system. Schools provide virtually no instruction on managing personal finances, so many people only begin to think about money in adulthood. Most people do not know how investments work, how capital is built, or what tools can help increase income. The difference between assets and liabilities is also rarely explained, even though this knowledge directly influences financial decision-making. As a result, people are forced to sell their time for money because they don't know of other ways to increase their income. Without an understanding of investment principles, it becomes difficult to accumulate capital that will generate income independently of employment. What do you think is the main cause of financial problems? Income or habits? Let us know in the comments. It is possible to improve your financial situation if you start managing your money systematically and consistently adopt habits that help build wealth. The first step is to set aside money for a rainy day, because this habit lays the foundation for future investments and financial stability. Set aside a portion of your income immediately after receiving it, so that savings become a priority rather than whatever is left over after all expenses. Even if the amount seems small, regular savings instill discipline and gradually build a significant financial reserve. Consistency is more important than the size of your savings, because consistency yields long-term results and sets the mechanism for capital growth in motion. The second step is to acquire assets that can generate income and, over time, become an additional source of profit. Assets work for you because they can generate profit without requiring you to constantly trade your time for money. Liabilities require expenses because they reduce available capital and create additional financial obligations. First, a cash flow from assets is established, which creates the foundation for financial stability and confidence in the future. Only then does the standard of living gradually improve, because expenses are covered by income from assets rather than by salary. The third step is to continuously improve financial literacy, because understanding the principles of managing money directly influences the quality of decisions made and the final outcome. It is important to study how money works in the economy to understand how capital is created and what actions lead to increased wealth. It is also important to understand how investments work so that money can generate returns and grow without constant involvement in the process. Financial literacy directly influences income levels because knowledge allows you to see opportunities where others see risks. The fourth step is to develop a long-term strategy that will help you create a clear plan for achieving financial stability. Wealth is accumulated gradually because capital grows over time through regular investments and discipline. Financial results rarely appear in a single month because most reliable investment vehicles require time to grow. A system is always more powerful than one-off efforts because it is consistent action that delivers sustainable results and long-term capital growth. The difference between the rich and the poor often lies not in income level, but in money management strategies and approaches to capital accumulation. Some people consciously build assets that generate income over time and gradually increase financial stability. Others develop spending habits by buying things that don't increase capital and require constant spending. Financial results depend on daily decisions because it is habits that determine whether capital will grow or shrink. Subscribe to the channel if you want to dive deeper into the topic of money and learn how to apply proven principles in practice. We talk about finances honestly and without illusions so that you can make more informed financial decisions. Watch other videos on the channel to gradually build a money management system and start moving toward financial freedom. Start applying your knowledge today because it is your actions today that shape your income and financial stability tomorrow.